breakthrough means nothing without
having the patient at the heart of everything that you do.
real progress in healthcare starts with
A group that is willing to undertake things that seem impossible.
collaboration fails when
You fail to communicate.
great ideas in medtech don't mean much if they don't arrive actually to the patient. And sometimes this is the hardest part. Today with me, Quintana from Houston Methodist, who is actually helping to close this gap. Thank you very much for being with us today.
It's a great pleasure to be here with you. I'm excited about this discussion.
Let's give a bit of context to our audience of what's the role of Houston Methodist in the medtech space.
Yeah, sure. So Houston Methodist is a 106-year-old hospital system that has been treating patients in the city of Houston in the Texas Medical Center. For those of you that don't know, the Texas Medical Center is the largest medical complex in the world. It's a small city dedicated to healthcare. And in that small city, you have 60 plus institutions and a tremendous legacy of not just patient care, but innovation. And so our dedication really is, in terms of the research and engagement with industry, startups, and other partners, to drive innovation to the clinic as fast, as safely, and as efficiently as possible.
And it's also challenging. We're gonna discuss about it later on, but before we're gonna play a nice game. I'm gonna give you a sentence and you're gonna complete it. You have 30 seconds to do so,
All right.
so good luck. Good? Let's start. Innovation moves faster when?
There is robust communication between those that are involved. There's a lot of silos that exist in innovation, and my job is to kind of facilitate breaking out of those silos so we can really collaborate as fast and as efficiently as possible.
The biggest challenge in medtech today is?
A lack of direct access. And when I say access, it's access to institutions, access to patients, access to funding. It's access. You need to be able to move from one phase to the next phase and have a conduit. Strategically, our vision is to build that access across different goals so we can push that innovation into the clinic as fast as possible.
Collaboration fails when?
You fail to communicate. 100% of what we do is focused on communication. If at some point one arm of an organization, one partner in a collaboration loses the sight of communication, it all falls apart because there are so many risks that are in medtech and innovation in general that there's 1,000 ways to die. And unfortunately, if you're not communicating with your partners throughout the duration of the collaboration, things can fall apart quickly.
Indeed. A breakthrough means nothing without?
Having the patient at the heart of everything that you do. The patient is where the technology is going to end up. The patient is who's going to have to live with the effect of a technology deployed for the patient or in a healthcare setting. And so if you don't keep the patient at the heart of what you do, you're really failing in everything.
And the last one, real progress in healthcare starts with?
A group that is willing to undertake things that seem impossible. This is not easy by any stretch of the imagination. Health tech innovation, you have a success rate of about 10%. That means 90% of the time you're going to fail. The goal is to strive to be a part of that 10% 100% of the time. This is not an easy endeavor that we take on, but there really is a passion to drive towards the clinic.
And as you just mentioned, the whole cycle, life cycle from the innovation to the actual patient is long and complex.
Yeah.
How are you, from your role in Houston Methodist, making this challenge less challenging?
Sure. It's not easy to take an innovation from I have a great idea to we have a commercial product that's in the market. My job is to de-risk technology and facilitate moving from gate to gate in terms of evidence generation. So the first thing that I need to understand is, does it work? This is really obvious. Does it work in something that is a benchtop model or maybe a cadaveric specimen? The next thing I need to know is this going to work in a living thing? And that living thing in all reality isn't going to be a human being. We're going to find preclinical models and collect data to support safety and efficacy. Then we transition into a clinical trial setting to see if it works in patients, if it's safe and if it's efficacious. but throughout the continuation of that, you're also bringing in the perspective of the stakeholders involved. That's the people involved in regulatory, the people involved in reimbursement, the people involved even with the design and how something feels in your hands. Because the last thing you want to do is generate something that, although it works, it could be dangerous to the people that are using it or to the patient. And so it's a continuous engagement of multiple stakeholders, but at the end of the day, it's a vision to work as if you were climbing a mountain. You're not racing up the mountain, you're working from point A to point B to point C, and each time you climb that different stage of that mountain, there is value that's going to be built for that technology, for that company, and for the mission to reach the clinic.
The whole ecosystem, let's say, needs collaboration, and this involves hospitals, involves, of course, the innovator itself and the patient. How do you see this collaboration, let's say, between hospitals? One of the pain points.
Yeah, sure. That's a great question. How do you ensure collaboration between the different stakeholders? Well, we spoke earlier about the concerns of silos. If for some reason you're working in a silo and you're doing certain things and you're waiting to hand off to the next group without proper communication or taking into effect what that group needs from the very beginning, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure. What we do is we take all of the different stakeholders that are involved, and from the very beginning, we work from our endpoint. The endpoint is the patient, what happens during patient care, where can we build from that in terms of the development? Okay, the user needs to have a device that does X, Y, Z. We need to run in this type of model that simulates this type of clinical environment. Great, we're de-risking technology, but at the end of the day, you're collaborating to ensure that that technology is making its way into that clinic.
We see a lot of amazing technologies, but not all of them manage to get into the hospitals or with the patient. What do you think makes this impossible, let's say, or harder for these technologies to not succeed in long term?
Well, realistically, there are multiple factors that can come into play. It could be that there's a lack of funding. It could be that the technology doesn't have an applicability for a certain condition. Maybe the market isn't big enough and there's just not a need that's large enough for that technology to fit within that market. It could be that the technology isn't able to prove that safety profile in a way that an FDA or an EMA or any regulatory body is going to approve or clear. That's a big concern. And so there's, as I mentioned, 1,000 ways that you can die along the way. The majority of them are really, they stem from communication problems. There's a lot of CEOs of startups that they think they know exactly what they need to do and they're doing it, but in reality it takes a village. It takes a village of resources in terms of CROs, CMOs, consultants, clinicians, patient advocates or patients themselves to actually turn this into a reality, and many people don't understand how complex and how you need to strategize to navigate that roadmap.
Coming back to collaborations, last year in MedTech Malta 2024, you were on panel.
I was.
Talking about this conversation. So what were your intakes in the ecosystem in Europe?
That's a great question. So I was at MedTech Malta 2024 to promote the efforts of the Texas Medical Center as a destination for companies that are in this world and need a place to generate evidence. And I already spoke about preclinical and clinical data, but there are other things that these companies could benefit from. The other side of the coin is I got to see a lot of innovative technology in Europe that probably didn't understand that there was a place like the Texas Medical Center that is the largest medical complex in the world, has access to 120,000 healthcare providers in 3 square miles and about 100,000 patients at any point in time. So at some point these companies need to run clinical trials either for regulatory approval in the US or to market their technology if it's been cleared as a 510K device. The 510K route tells me that your technology has been manufactured and developed under quality management system. It doesn't tell me how it's going to act in a healthcare setting or in an American patient population. And so getting these European companies to understand that there's a place in this world that has access to diverse patient populations, access to expertise, and we want to see your technology. I want to help that technology reach our patients because that's an unmet need that someone here has identified as necessary. The only difference is your technology is in Europe right now. It's not too far in terms of a flight to get to the United States, establish a base of operations, and then conduct the things that you need to do to generate evidence and build value for your companies.
To finalize this interview, how do you see the future, an ideal future where, of course, Houston Methodist is playing an important role to close this gap and help devices, innovations come to the patient? How do you see this future, the ideal future?
Well, the future isn't too far away. We're actually living it every day. We're creating our own future. The reason that we're here at the AdvaMed MedTech Conference and we're the only hospital or academic hospital system with an exhibit booth is because we want to take on innovation head on. Our tagline is leading medicine. The only way that you can lead medicine is by actually engaging with the innovators on their home turf, right? And so I get an opportunity to meet everything from new companies with new technologies to students that are looking for career opportunities. You have to think about how am I going to cultivate the next generation of innovators, the next generation.
Whole ecosystem.
Exactly, we're building our ecosystem by coming to the forefront of health tech or medtech innovation here at the AdvaMed MedTech Conference, and by participating at events like MedTech Malta and other things that are focused on something that's very important to us, which is innovative technology to impact patient care. So we're doing it, we're living it. If anyone wants to attend, please find us at booth 617, if this plays live. Otherwise, just look for us, online through socials, because we are here to champion innovation. We live it every day. It's part of our values. We're very proud of it, and we want to impact patient care.
Well, thank you very much for accepting the invitation once again, and we'll see you in MedTech Malta 2025.
Thank you, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you
I look
very
forward
much.
to seeing you.